Sky Squad, we are back with another video. And y'all know what? So lately I've been in this zone where I'm like, if it ain't no like new news, you know what I'm saying? Like some we ain't never really talked about before. I don't really be that excited about it. But we got some topics today that I'm kind of interested in. But before I do that, y'all seem to like my last new music recommendation. And so I'm going to give y'all another one. It's called Joy Unspeakable by Voices of Fire featuring Pharrell Williams. It played at the end of Pharrell and Louis Vuitton's Paris runway show. Do yourself a favor, download it today, okay? If you want to be lifted up, go ahead and download it. All right. So now that I got that out the way, let's talk about the couple of things that we're going to discuss today. First things first, I want to talk about this scene right here that leaked earlier, thanks to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room. And I want you guys to watch this scene in full because I think it's interesting to me. One of the more interesting scenes that I feel like I've seen on the Real Housewives of Atlanta for much of this current season. I like when we discover, I always feel like, and I think I heard this from Monique Samuels, who told me that, when you are filming, you want the audience to be able to find out something new in every scene. It was just a random conversation we were having. I think it was her that said that to me, if I'm not mistaken. So in this scene right here, we had previously heard from Drew's sister when she sort of corroborated the idea that there had at some point in time, allegedly, let me throw up the badge, been something going on betwixt Drew Sidora and LeBron James. This was the allegation. Her sister seemed to corroborate it in some way, shape, or form. Now, for those of you guys who have no idea who Drew's sister is or why she is of importance, she actually used to manage Drew Sidora. But what we find in this scene is that she stopped managing Drew in around or sometime around 2020 during the pandemic. A lot of things happened in 2020 that are coming back up now in 2023, but that's a story for another day. This is at least something I feel like we can really kind of get into because the sister allegedly has some sort of mental, situation. I won't call it, I think Drew called it a breakdown, but, we'll say mental health. She needed a little time out. You know what I'm saying? We all go through it at some point in time. And so let's normalize, people needing some mental space. Okay. And so she could not handle the capacity of the workload that Drew Sidora was requiring, likely because Drew was now entering the realm of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so that's a different beast than just doing the acting roles and that sort of thing, right? I'm sure the commitments have grown, the deals have grown, and so she needed a break. So, anyway, what we learned is though that Drew's sister is coming to town in this scene, and apparently she will be staying at the house. And this is not something that Ralph is excited about at all. Like, he feels like because the sister called him manipulative and controlling. Now, where have we heard that before? I mean, much of the time that we have seen Ralph on the show, while Ralph is an affable guy, right? Ralph also does come across as rather manipulative and controlling. It is what it is, sir. But perhaps he just didn't. Maybe that was the first time he heard it. But the sister called it out back in the day. Now, the sister might be on to a lot of things, but he don't want to be around her. And we learned that after she called him manipulative and controlling, that he done banned her from the household altogether. So now Drew's trying to figure out a way to make them come back together. This to me is exciting, not for the sense of, I hate, that they have to go through this, but it's exciting to me because it's something new. I, for one, have personally been more interested in learning more about Drew and Ralph and what is going on with their marriage than some of the Marlo shenanigans outside of her fun commentary about the way the ladies are dressing and stuff like that. That other storyline, I mean, I feel for her, pray for her, but I just don't want to hear about it no more. I'm more interested in this. So I really wanted to talk to you guys about it because I am always interested in very complex family dynamics on these shows. So let me know what you guys think, because Ralph is like, well, I might just have to leave the house. And in my mind, what would you do in that situation? If you got a family member coming into town, an in-law coming into town who has previously called you manipulative and controlling, are you leaving your house? Because when he said he was leaving the house, the first thing I thought of was, now you trying to leave this house, you trying to go back down to Tampa. Is that what you're doing, sir? You got to ask these questions when it comes to Ralph. You know what I mean? But y'all let me know what y'all think. Now, is it just an excuse to go on down to Tampa? What is in Tampa? Okay. Outside of selling Tampa, which was, I don't know why they canceled that show on Netflix, but there was some fine women down there. Now, if that's the sights and sounds in Tampa, hey, whoa, whoa. Wouldn't any say, wow? Okay. Y'all, I ain't got no sense. Meanwhile, I wanted to do a little mini review of the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta episode 2. It's called Straight Outta Excuses. Now, let me talk about something real quick. And y'all know, for one, I typically don't get into talking about, women's. I don't really like talking about women's looks, because I feel like, talking about people's looks, I just feel like it's played out, right? But we got to talk about this because y'all know it bothers me. Okay. Erica Banks and these baby hairs. I want y'all to look at these baby hairs. I was so distracted because I was watching it last night. I was so distracted every time she's on scene. Here's the problem that I have, though. Erica Banks actually is good on the show. Her confessionals pop. She reacts accordingly. She feels like she belongs there. It's been a long time since I felt like somebody new popped up and I felt like they just automatically fit into the aesthetic of Love and Hip Hop. And it wasn't just me, but I did complain last week about those confessionals looking dark. And they sure enough looked like they had tried to light up Safari a lot better. Okay. Although he wasn't in the last episode, but he was back on this episode. But Erica Banks and these Bayang, the Bayang baby hairs, because the baby hairs have turned into bangs. Okay, the Bayang baby hairs, they got to go. All right. Somebody commented and said, looking at Erica Banks' thick fat swoops of baby hair, and ain't no way she felt like she met the image she be looking for in other girls. Bye, ma'am. But then what I love is that she said she's in on the joke. She says, "Whoo, baby, my baby hairs was a bit much this episode. It's me talking about make them bigger." Girl, you asked for that? You asked for it? Y'all, I ain't been more no good. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk for this little bit of information right here. Before I dive further into my thoughts on the episode, I want to bring your attention to just a little something else. I don't know if you guys have seen on the Neighborhood Talk, was that we got a new cast member last week that we met. And what we learned is that her name is Jessica White. And we learned she's, a former, model, supermodel. And she was reflecting on her relationship with Nick Cannon. And she, according to page 6, she says it was an emotional roller coaster. I went through an emotionally abusive relationship and everybody goes through it. I am just the first person in Hollywood to talk about it and not try to make a pretty picture of it. I don't want to be perfect, she says. Now, her and Nick dated from 2015 to 2020, and she suffered a miscarriage while being pregnant by him. And then and they say she didn't highlight every example of emotional abuse that she allegedly endured. Again, allegations, alleged. She did previously reveal that she found out he impregnated another woman while they were together. So, I mean, like I don't know what to think when I feel like this. If you get involved with Nick Cannon, I just think that the record states um enough about him for you to just beware, at least nowadays. Maybe not in 2015, but now, okay? So, uh, you know, uh, uh, I'm sorry to this woman. I really am. That's nothing to, I'm sorry she's going through. But I want to talk about the episode 11 hip hop. I mean, there's not a lot to really cover. We got Shekinah's back. Apparently Shekinah didn't go visit Spice when she was in the hospital when Spice had the sepsis. Did the sepsis just happen spontaneously, or was this as a result of surgery? Did we figure that out? I mean, because I'm still trying to, like, I'm wondering, I mean, did she go to the Dominican to get the surgery? Or was she in the Dominican? Was it in the Dominican? Or was she in the Dominican on vacay and then something popped? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. What I do know is that she says that she still has an open wound that she has to continue to go get, cleaned every day. Now, Shekinah comes over and Spice is mad at her for not coming to visit her when she was, in the hospital. But apparently, Mita, who we met last season, who I also interviewed, and that was a good interview, um, didn't let Shekinah know, or didn't make it seem like it was okay for her to come visit, but made it okay for Carly Red to come visit. Now, they get back on good terms or whatever, enough for Shekinah to come to a rehearsal and seeing Spice, who had told us that she had an open wound, trying to pop, lock, and drop it because she got a show somewhere. Okay. Now, Shekinah's like, girl, didn't you just tell me you got an open wound? So what are you doing in this waist trainer trying to pop, lock, and drop it like this when you know you can't be doing that? So they get into the argumentation, and then it looked like they on the outs again a little bit, somewhat. Mama D is now this Mama D. Y'all know I hate talking about an elder mama, and I'm gonna rate this episode. Trust and believe. I'm gonna give you my rating in a minute because I'm gonna surprise you with what I got to say. But Mama D gonna show up on the scene talking about, she been trying to respect Bambi, but she don't like to be. But anyway, she goes on to talk about, to tell a new character. I think her name is Amy Luciani. Angela Luciani. Anyway, she telling her, yeah, Scrappy hanging out with the Diamond now, and she might be expecting his baby. But the man is still married to Bambi, technically. Bambi, who has had to go off to Los Angeles for what reason, I don't know. I don't know if she found a house there. She packed up to move the kids there. All I know is she got a photo shoot. Sierra Gateston came. Sierra got problems with her man that I don't quite understand. But what we also learn is, while Mama Joyce, not Mama Joyce, Lord have mercy, please forgive me. These are different mamas, but they both in Atlanta. But Mama D then told this lady, Amy, this information about Diamond and Scrappy. Amy goes and tells Erica Banks, who she has become cool with. Not only that, but apparently Amy, Luciani lady, is a rapstress, okay? And so she had a song that was allegedly stolen from her by Rennie Rucci, okay? So she tells Erica Banks about this, and she mad because when she approached Rennie, Rennie was like, "Oh, I mean, you coming?" I mean, it was rah-rah. It was on some rah-rah type stuff. I don't know much about these people right now, but we getting to know them. So if it sounds to you like I'm talking about unfamiliar people and you ain't seen the show, Just follow along and you will become more familiar as we go along. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to continue to try to recap this show on a loose basis. Because at the end of the day, I actually found that I enjoyed this slightly better than I'm enjoying Atlanta. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. Now I'm going to give this episode an 8, an 8.5. No, I'm going to give it an 8. Because I was interested. I was amused. Okay. If nothing else. If nothing else, I'm amused by this show. Now, Sierra, speaking of whom, we learned that she done got married to this man that she been having all these problems with. Now, he got issues because of her kids, and he won't basically, I feel like he wanted a woman that don't have kids. But I'm like, didn't you know she had kids before you got with her? So why do you have issues with the kids now? And apparently he be doing all kind of stuff to the kids and messing around with them while she not there and spooking them and stuff like that. And the kids don't like him. But girl, you married him in secret. Why would you do that? You know, marrying somebody don't make life better for you. If you already going through trials and tribulations, marrying somebody, having a baby by somebody, it is not gonna help. Okay, what it's gonna do is tie you to these people longer. Now she is in the midst of trying to escape. Oh yes, that's what she said. She used the word escape. I'm trying to escape. Girl, it's called divorce. Okay. Now you can flee in the middle of the night. You can do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, you still married to this man. I don't care if you run to Saudi Arabia in the middle of the night on a red eye. You still married. So you're going to have to go through the process of now getting a divorce. And that's going to be painful. Okay. Because I'm sure he's not going to make it easy for you. So anyway, we'll see what happened with all that and see how this rumor comes about and see what happens with the Luciani and Rooney's and baby hairs. But I'm interested. I'm amused. I chuckled. Okay. And it is what it is. Y'all let me know if y'all watching. I just thought I would bring y'all this little bit of tea and a mini recap. And we're going to keep it pushing. I think the next thing I need to do is watch The Bell Collective and review that, but that'll be coming up. So y'all make sure to keep it locked to the channel. Y'all know I'm just here for the amusement of it all. All right, I'll catch you all in the next video.